don't. Seriously, don't buy this, don't spend money on this. Unless your use case is very specific, very particular. In the remainder of the video, I will show all the details, pros and cons, and first discuss the specific scenarios in which this might help you and be a good idea. But overall, to save you time, apart from that, it's not worth it and it's not very helpful, and I cannot even sell it as used with a clear conscience, because I think it's not a good deal. And if I tell potential buyers the downsides, I don't think anyone sane, anyone remotely sane would buy it. So I'm sort of stuck with it, and I use it occasionally, but it's one of the things where I did not spend my money very well. As the English say, a fool and his money are soon parted. So let's begin with the specific scenarios where this might just be useful. I will later show how it's used and all the details and everything. If you are working in a place where you don't have anyone to hold a vacuum, and ideally an industrial vacuum cleaner or some other thing like that, and you are not comfortable with working with only one hand when you're drilling, and if it needs to be as clean as possible, so some nicely arranged apartments where you need to just hang something on the wall and similar, in those scenarios this may be a good option. And the primary reason why I bought this, why I thought that it might be useful and a good idea, was exactly because while I did on more than one occasion drill a hole in a wall with only one hand and using my other hand to hold the vacuum cleaner to not have any dust, or in some awkward situation where I cannot hold with both hands. It doesn't happen often, but I would be lying if I said that it never happens. I've also had situations where I had to use left hand, and the fortunate thing is that I'm almost equally clumsy with both arms and legs. So when such situations come, even if there are several of us at the work site, job site, and if no one is left-handed, I can step in and get the work done. So for those occasions where it's not possible and I need to keep things clean and want to keep things clean, or I wanted to get something like this. I also thought that generally it is recommended and a lot safer to use both hands with the drill. So I thought, okay, this looks like a practical solution. I can just put it on my drill and then I can use both hands while still making sure that there's not much debris flying out. So this is used for the hammer drills. I have videos that I'll link in the video description discussing the different kinds of drills and discussing how this works. If memory serves me, I also explained that. But for drilling walls and things like that, it's that's where this is very handy. It is a vacuum cleaner that gets power supplied from the drill, so that looked like a very practical, good idea. I will briefly show now how it works. So you need to get this out of the way, then you can slide it, and this is where it gets the power. So it has these three contacts, and this is on the drill where they connect, and so I can just slide it in and lock it in place. And here it's locked. This is where you unlock it, and it's still not going very smoothly, so I need to be a bit, so now it's locked. And it has the HEPA filter, so it should be safe to use in places where dust and debris is strictly regulated, and so on and so forth. So I already made a video about this drill, but here now we're talking about this GDE 18V-16 model. So not very happy with it. But to show you how it works, let's take a battery, put it, and when I activate the drill, it starts vacuuming, and it continues for 2 seconds after the drill had stopped, so that no debris gets left, or the minimal amount of debris gets left. That looked very practical. You don't need a separate battery, and so, as I said, I thought it's a jolly good idea, but in practice it's very awkward. Why is it awkward? Well, the first thing, if you need to, it limits the size both in terms of length and in terms of diameter of the drills that you can use, drill bits, because at least if you want it to keep vacuuming, so it gives you a limited option, and it makes inserting them more complicated. So I need to get it through here and then insert it. Okay, so that's one thing. When I want to change it, I need to slide it out. So that's a minor inconvenience, but you should know that past a certain length and past a certain diameter it will not work. I think it has written here, so from 4 to 16 millimeters in diameter, and in terms of length, again, past a certain length it's highly impractical to use this. So that's one problem. The other problem is that it obscures the place where you're drilling. I have a lot of experience working with drills, drilling all kinds of walls, concrete, bricks, and so on, but thanks to that experience, I know that it's not always possible to for the drill to stay where you put it. Yes, you need to start carefully, slowly, and pay attention, but sometimes it will move a bit out of the way, and if you have some precision mounting where you need to have the holes just in the right place, so you're hanging something that has several mounts and you've already marked everything, then if you cannot see the drill tip while you're working, you are risking the drill tip moving out of the way without you noticing it. So with this, it's hidden, you cannot see it, so it might get out of the way without you noticing it. So that's a problem. To try to get around that problem, I tried using this. So this does let me get it a bit and then hold in place, and then when I press this, it goes all the way out. It is spring loaded. But in practice, when I do this, it's not doing a very good job of vacuuming if it's far away enough, and I can still not see the tip clearly unless I have a lot of clearance all around, which is not always the case. Sometimes I can only look in line with the drill, and in that case, even if I hold this far away, it's still useless. I cannot see the drill where it's entering the wall, so I cannot see the tip. And that's a problem that I saw in practice. So it's as good as it gets in terms of design, but that's an objective downside if you want something that will do vacuuming without you holding it with another hand, in this setup at least. This other option lets you set the limit. So instead of using that, let me show you what I mean. It should be here. Just a second. So instead of using something like this to keep the marked distance, you can set it here, move this, and then it will not let it go past a certain point. So here only this much, then it will lock and it will hold you. What I do in practice and find to be a lot more practical when nothing is blocking the drill is to just use some masking tape and mark it. Just glue it around, wrap it around, and that is clearly visible even when it's spinning at a fast rate. So in this case, that option is only necessary because this obscures the view of the drill, so it's, let's say, safer. It will keep you. Sometimes you need to limit the depth that you're drilling in for various reasons, so it's a nice option. But as I said, overall the system is not very good. And what I also very highly dislike about this system, let me show you. Let's just get the battery out of the way. Okay, now to try to get this out of the way. Okay, here it is. Okay, now when I'm finished drilling and I want to clean the filter, you press this on each side and then you pull it out, and here it is. Now in theory I can just remove any dust and debris in a bucket, but to clean the filter, which you should do, it gets clogged up, you need to press these two on the sides to get it out of this, and it's not going very smoothly. This part is not because we are recording on camera. This is something that I've been facing whenever I use these. Okay, so you need to take it out, and then you cannot wash this, which means that you need to take it out somewhere and use maybe compressed air and similar, and that for me beats the purpose of vacuuming, because my industrial vacuum cleaner that I'll also show I'll show a separate video, that also runs on batteries. It's also made by Bosch, but it's awesome because it has a big filter that you can wash in water so nothing is flying, and the big bucket that you can use for a lot of work and then empty it somewhere. So this on the other hand makes the use of this highly impractical, and I will not even bother to show how it works when you're drilling, because that is how much I dislike the idea of having to clean this again. Sorry. There are thousands of videos showing how this works awesome, and then you can see it in action. You can watch those videos. I will not be showing it here today. I maybe have some footage from before when I use it. I'll try to put that in the video somewhere while I'm talking or ranting, if you like. So those are the downsides. It adds some bulk. It has its weight. It makes the tool relatively unwieldy. The advantage is that if I going on a bicycle, I don't find it practical to carry my industrial vacuum cleaner. And when I go to work somewhere, ordinary household vacuum cleaners, when you're drilling concrete or even bricks, they can get clogged up with that small fine dust, and it can sort of reduce their lifetime. So it's not a bad idea to have an option, and compared to hauling the industrial vacuum cleaner, it does have some advantages. So I sometimes do carry it. I must say that I would be lying if I said otherwise, but it's a love and hate relationship. I would not buy this again. That's my honest opinion. I would not go out and buy this again. Yeah, and I'm not planning to throw it away, and I don't see how I can with a clear conscience sell it. So Bosch obviously can. Sorry, a bit of a rant, but that's how it is. So there are probably not many ways to make this better, and for the very specific use case, it probably has its place, and that rhymes. But for most people, it's probably not a good idea. The important thing is that it has this front section that you can replace for different kinds of Bosch tool drill heads. If you have this ordinary head, then use this one, and there is a different model for those heads that are replaceable. That other model sticks out forward a bit more because the replaceable head is bulkier. I have that somewhere in a drawer saved, but I will not be showing it, and I think this just clicks into place. But I would need to Google even that information, and I don't want to break this tool, even though yes, it looks like it's a click in place, but so I will not be removing it now for this video. As I said, I do use this occasionally and with this drill, and probably for the detailed instructions, you can watch Bosch tutorials and videos, but generally I am not too thrilled with this. So that's the whole video. I hope this helps you make an, how do I say, educated decision, informed decision. It's definitely not for job site or anywhere where you can afford to have some debris flying around. That makes it absolutely no sense. Even if you're thinking about saving your own lungs and everything, I think there are better options to put something on your face to protect yourself and similar, but this is highly impractical and it makes the tool additionally more heavy. So if you're working above your head, it can get more tiring the heavier it is. So those are the downsides, and of course you need to move this aside. You cannot put it in line. Depending on how you like to use the tool, it can be also another complication. So that's the whole video. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please use the BikeGremlin forum, and I'll see. I want to also thank the good people who support my work via Patreon. And I have made, some people have asked for one-time donations. There's a page on my website. I'll try to put a link to that page in the video's description and maybe make it pop up in your top right hand corner if I don't forget when I upload this. But I've made some options for one-time payments for people who want to support my work. That's cool. It helps. And that's the whole video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in some other video. We'll be making tool reviews in the following days or even weeks to show the ones that are better for the other videos. This first one was negative, but since I already have this tool I wanted, and some people have seen it and asked about it, I wanted to make a longer in detail video about it. So there it is. I already made a video about the drill. That's also, maybe I'll put it in the description of the video. So that's it. Cheers.